Hi everyone, welcome back to today's video. I am going to be taking you along as I do some cooking and baking for our family. We've got 4 children, so we're a family of 6. It is definitely chilly weather outside. Florida this week even got snow, and yes, we're in Florida. However, we're down in Sarasota, so we didn't get any, but the northern panhandle definitely got some. I do want to make some granola. I've got sourdough starter going. Probably gonna do some soup, and I'm really not sure. You're just along for the ride, so hopefully you enjoy it. If you're new, my name is Lynette. So before I go further, this is a cookbook I use a lot when I'm doing sourdough. I also use Pinterest. I use Pinterest for a lot of things, but anyway, these are some of my other ones. This is a tried and true. I use a lot of recipes from Hope's Table. I love her granola recipe. I've tweaked it some for myself. I usually end up making it a little different each time. Bo, our little dog, he likes ringing his bell even when he doesn't need to go out to do his business. I just had him out. It's still a training process. He sits here cocking his head at me. Anyway, this is a fairly new one that I've been enjoying as well. This is the Served with Hospitality by Vicki Martin. It is gorgeous. I love this one as well. And I have others that I use too, Amish style cookbooks and things, but just thought I'd mention these. If I can, I'll link them below in the description box. I'm going to start by making my granola, and I do some different things than what Hope does, so I think I've had her permission before to share the recipe, so maybe I'll do that. I've been out of my granola for a while, and so it's high time. Granola is one of those things that I find such a hard time allowing myself to buy because it is just so expensive in comparison to making it, and it's not hard to make it once you find a good recipe. So I try hard not to buy granola. Occasionally I do, but if I stay in a routine, it's really not hard at all. I like to use avocado oil versus canola. I just feel like it's healthier. I found this beautiful picture at Ross, like embossed, and it has measuring amounts on it. I have it sitting out on my cupboard, but it was like a $6, $7 purchase. So pretty. Last time I added in some graham crackers, crushed graham crackers, and it was so good. I don't know what it is, but when you toast grahams, they just taste so good. And so I am adding some of those today. You got it, sis?
Yeah, I didn't cut my hand.
Good.
Because I don't cut my hand when I have a big scissors.
Yeah. Just gonna pour this over all of the other ingredients. I know a lot of you have seen me make granola like how often already, so hopefully it's not something that is boring to you all, but more of an encouragement that daily life is just that. It's daily life, and we have routines and rhythms and things that we do every single day. And while it can be very monotonous and tiresome at times, I think it really does matter in the perspective of eternity. I know I tend to forget that. We are serving our family and we're serving Jesus ultimately. And it's just a reminder for myself, first of all, when I have those days where I feel like everything's overwhelming and never going to get caught up or whatever, you will eventually. And certain seasons are just harder and busier and all of that. So anyway, I'm not sure what that has to do with granola, but more of the thing that sometimes I feel like I show you all the same things over and over, but I hope that I'm encouraging while I'm doing it, and I hope that it's something that inspires you to find things that work for you as a mom or a wife or a single girl or a single guy or a dad or whoever, grandparents, grandmas. Like, you all matter and we all have our roles to play, and none of us is more important than the other. That's my little encouragement.
I've been waiting on my wild grain box to come, and I am so excited because I've not had one in a while. And I am partnering with Wild Grain today. They are sponsoring the video, which I'm grateful for. I'm gonna do a little unboxing for you. Wild Grain is the first ever bake from frozen subscription box. All things sourdough, artisanal pastries, pastas, and baked goods. This is my favorite thing to always come out of their boxes, their chocolate croissants. I requested some of these and I love them so much. I'm excited to see what else is in here. Okay, they have their plain biscuits and they're made with real ingredients. Giant chocolate chunk cookies. They have a loaf of ciabatta, which is something that I've been wanting to try with sourdough. Sourdough starter, wheat flour, olive oil, yeast, water, and salt. So just plain ingredients, which is amazing. Then you're gonna put it back in the freezer before you're ready to bake it. Here's another one. This is a sourdough bread and some really, really good butter. It is churned French butter. So Wild Grain partners with small bakers across the United States, across the country, to bring us these pastries and baked goods. So maybe you're in a season of life where you would love to do sourdough and bake from scratch, you know, all of the things. And maybe it's just not something that is for you. Maybe you're just not wanting to take the time that it takes to do that, but you still want the healthy benefits of having things like this. This may be for you. They bake from the freezer to your table in 25 minutes or less. They have a lot more products than what I've shown here, and you can build your own box. You can set your subscription, how often you want it or don't want it, that type of thing. And 2 meals are donated for every order that you place. So if you want to check out Wild Grain, be sure to click on my link in the description box and use my code Lynette Yoder to get $30 off your first box. Plus, you'll get free croissants for life. I'm gonna make a soup right now, I think. I have like sausage browned already. I think it's called zuppa toscana or something like that. Hope's Table actually has a recipe that I think I'm going to use, and we'll see how that is. I do need kale. I don't have kale. Oh, that was a lot. I forgot that the lid was open. Oh boy. That was a lot of red pepper flakes. No, what are we going to do? Yeah, it's going to be too spicy. I had also cooked some chicken the other day and I saved the broth, so this is gonna look a little gloopy, but I think it'll be okay. I'm gonna try a French bread recipe from this cookbook. Kind of decided it on a whim. It does it pretty quickly, makes 2 loaves, and I've never tried it, so you're gonna find out with me if it's gonna work for me. She uses instant yeast, unless otherwise noted, she said in this book, which is something I'm not really used to, but I think I have some. There you go.
Hey, thanks.
Welcome. Okay, I just got my granola out of the oven. Probably could have left it in a little bit longer, but I think it'll be fine. It usually hardens up after it sits a little bit. And my soup is still cooking. I'm trying to see if my potatoes are soft yet, not quite. But I think what I'm gonna do is just skip the kale altogether. And we're just gonna go with a warm, cozy soup. And it's gonna be a little spicy because of the crushed red pepper flakes I put in there. I also have my French bread. I'm going to let it rise. It says it should take around an hour. We'll see. Okay.
So Harper's eating some slush. I like making this stuff when the peaches are in season. We like eating it slushy. And she's been eating.
Mom, I like you paying this season in here.
Yeah. She's been eating throughout the morning, so she's not super hungry. So here's the soup. I don't have the kale in it. I decided it's okay. I'm not going to bother going to the store just for that. So I also pulled out some sourdough bread and some sweet tea.
Sweet tea.
Yeah, I know you do. Here it is. It's very spicy. That was my fault. But it's very comforting. And I think I'll add maybe a couple crackers and dip my bread in it.
Aren't you waking me, Mom?
I'm kind of jumping around here, but I am making Amish noodles just to have on hand for later on in case someone might need something if I'm out of the house for a while. Caden, I think, is coming down with something. Nick went to pick him up at school, and I don't know if he's even going to be hungry, but noodles are always something that are just like a comfort food, kind of like chicken noodle soup. But Amish noodles are, I can't really describe them unless you've had them, maybe like at an Amish restaurant or something like that. They're kind of like thicker, supposed to be thicker noodles. So I'm going to make some, and they can sit for a couple hours to kind of absorb the liquid and stuff. I was out of cream of chicken soup, which is fine because I've been trying to make it from scratch. Cream of chicken soup that's bought is really not healthy, and so I've been trying to just make my own. And I'm gonna go ahead and brown the butter before I add the rest of the mixture in. This is basically just like a side dish, so if I do have some meat to throw on, I can do that, and these reheat very nicely. Starter is almost doubled, but it doesn't look, I mean, it's active, but I think it could still use some more, so I may even feed it again before I make anything with it. I'm sure I could use a discard though in some recipes, so I might have to spin my brain a little bit. I just don't know that I'm gonna have too much more time left. I'm really excited to try this bread because it actually looks really good. Yeah, my butter's not soft enough. This is delicious. Wow. I have certainly had way too many carbs today. Maybe carnivore tomorrow.
Chicken noodle soup. It's another day. Nick is down with the flu or something. Been making its rounds. And so I am going to make some chicken noodle soup this morning. I don't have a recipe. I am just winging it. So here's some of the chicken that I had cooked. I used the broth in the other soup and froze the rest of the chicken that I hadn't needed, and so I pulled that out. I might add more if I need to, but I'll see. And these are about the only noodles that I have. They're ramen noodles, so I'm going to use these. They're from Thrive Market. I also added in some spaghetti noodles because I was afraid the ramen wouldn't quite fill enough of the pot. And I'm gonna have it with one of the wild grain biscuits.
No, I ate it all.
I hope that this video was encouraging and that you could maybe get some new ideas. I do feel like my kids are fairly picky eaters, and myself personally, I love variety. That's one thing I told my kids. I was like, you can't ever say that I make the same thing over and over and over, besides for certain things, maybe granola, but that's beside the point. As far as dinner goes, I don't make the same things over and over. I probably should more. Like some of the stuff that I'm making right now is fairly basic, not even enough to film, because we're trying to do some sides, like meat sides by themselves, because Nick is still doing some of his carnivore diet type of stuff. And so a lot of times it's fairly basic what I'm cooking. And so some things that I make are more for my personal enjoyment because I love trying new things and I love eating different things. And then other things, you know, sometimes it's just basic meals and all of that, you know, side dishes, and sometimes I just don't have time to film it. I usually try to film when I'm cooking anyway, and sometimes that can just be a bit chaotic if everyone's at home, you know, say dinner time and stuff. So I hope that it was an encouraging video for you, and I will leave what I can linked below. Go check out Wild Grain in the description box and use my code Lynette Yoder for $30 off your first box. As I mentioned, take advantage of what they have to offer. I love what I've had from them, and I think you will too. So with that, I want to say thank you so much for being here. I will see you all next week. Bye, friends.